Hello, everyone. This is Lisa Thomas, Executive Director from BNI Melbourne North, and this is Network Success, Northside Notables podcast, where we actually celebrate the local heroes. So a lot of us, we look to celebrities or international entrepreneurs for our inspiration, when we actually have some great local heroes here in the north of Melbourne. And today we have Andy Allen with us today. Thank you
Hi,
for
Lisa.
coming.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks a lot.
So tell us about your business, Andy.
So I run a company called Travel Connections. We are a travel agent. We sell basically everything travel, although we do tend to specialise in long-haul travel, which basically, if you draw an arc around Melbourne and say 7 hours, so Singapore and beyond,
Yes.
that's really what we focus on. People want to book domestic or local travel, they'll jump online and do that. That's fine. But as soon as you go that bit further afield, you want the support and the backup of having an agent who's got your back.
Most definitely. And how long have you been doing that, Andy?
Started the business in 97, so 28 years.
Wow.
Since I emigrated here in late 96. And we opened the business in 97 and got it going. I didn't want to work for anybody, so just myself and watch
Yes.
my kids grow up, and that was the motivation for my own business. And of course, Travel Connections was born out of that.
Okay. So what is the place to go to at the moment? What is everybody talking about? What location and where are people going to?
Look, I think the single biggest destination is actually the continent, and it's Europe. It's been the number one destination for Aussies for many a millennia, for ages. And sure enough, people have returned to Europe in big numbers. It's easy to travel around. Transport's great. The roads are great. And people can explore and uncover so much history and variety there. That's why they want to travel to Europe. North America continues to be popular, as does South America. And of course, if you want long weekends or short weeks away, into Asia is the go.
So of course, with online selling and everything, a lot of people try to do their own travel.
Mhm.
Some do it successfully, some do it not so successfully. So you touched on it before. Why should people use a travel agent for their big trips?
Well, I think using a travel agent, you're using somebody who's usually passionate about the business that they're in. They're experienced, and a lot of the time they've got the knowledge to know where to find the solutions to what your challenges are.
Yes.
So usually when you travel to somewhere like Japan, Europe, you're doing more than a single centre holiday. You're not just sitting on a beach
Yes.
in a resort hotel. So then you start moving around, and when you move around and you start thinking about the logistics, if there's several of you, or you're starting to think about where's the best place to stay in Tokyo, then Kyoto. Do I want to add in Kanazawa or Takayama? Do I want to build in Hiroshima? What about Osaka? And you start thinking about it.
Yes.
You want to talk to somebody that's in the know.
Yep.
And travel agents have usually got that experience and can help you make the right decisions as to where to go, what to see. Yes, you can read about it, whether it be in A Lonely Planet with all the online forums. You can read TripAdvisors and all the suggestions that are online. And that's good to help you make decisions. But I think when you're putting it together and you want to know somebody's got your back 24/7, then having an agent behind you is the way to go. And that's where the agent gives, I think, that extra bit of benefit to you as a person and as a traveller. And it just makes your job easier. And for anybody that's a professional, they understand the value of time.
Yes.
And the time of putting things together is actually quite expensive. And like the simple solution is that you can spend 20 to 30 hours dead easy trying to plan a holiday, when actually that 20 or 30 hours could be better employed doing the job you do and earn more money.
So you can spend more.
And you can spend more, or certainly you can get the agent to do what they're good at and put it together in a much shorter time frame than you've got. And there's the value. And it doesn't really cost you any more than what you would have paid to do it all yourself online.
Yes. So what is one of the worse situations you've been able to help people get out of because they chose to go through you to help with their trips?
Well, I think the classic is as we came out of COVID, and in fact, it's still happening to a lesser degree, but it's still happening. The volume of schedule changes
Mm.
that airlines enforce on customers is beyond belief. Um, Constantly, airlines are changing their schedules. Just last week, Qantas announced that they're withdrawing the Melbourne to Delhi direct service
Oh, okay.
for the next few months until October, and it's only just started. And so customers have said, "Oh, you're going to be rerouted through Hong Kong. That's all right going, but coming home, there's a 12-hour layover between the Cathay flight coming in from Delhi to Hong Kong and then the connection. So that doesn't work." So as an agent, we know what the policies are and we can re-protect you onto airlines like Indigo Airlines to connect with Qantas out of Bangalore and bring you home, or Bangalore as it's now called, and through that route through Singapore and home.
Yes.
So because we know the intricacies of airline routings and so on, we can actually change your ticket and protect you and get you sorted without you having to wait 4 hours online on a phone call to Qantas to try and talk to them. And nobody can get through to Qantas at the moment. It's
No.
impossible. Their call centres are just too busy.
Yes.
But it's not just Qantas. It's every airline is just as bad. I just use that as an example.
Cool.
But getting schedule changes sorted, and when things happen after you've made your booking and you want to get it resorted to suit you, that's what the agent's there for.
You know, being in business, we have disruptions sometimes.
Yep.
And unfortunately, with the travel industry, you had one of probably the biggest disruptions ever.
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah. So if you're from a business perspective, and if you're, our audience is other business owners, so what would you say, what tips or suggestions would you give people if their industry is going through a disruption or changes? How would you suggest that they navigate that as a business owner?
I think you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared for every contingency that's likely to come. Now, sometimes it doesn't matter how prepared you are, something comes that's bigger than Ben-Hur.
Yeah, and it's out of your control.
And when it's completely out of your control, like COVID was, we'll put that in a unique pot.
Yes.
But it certainly proved to me that I was very fortunate that over the years, I recognised cash is king and to have a good bank balance. And I recognised that actually not just paying out dividends to myself every year, but actually keeping the funds in the business is so important because you just don't know what's round the corner.
Yes.
Are you going to suddenly have a meltdown economically, like a GFC, and people suddenly stop doing things and it disrupts the market? Every election year, believe it or not, people stop travelling. It's bizarre, but it does happen. And then as soon as the election's finished, everybody starts rebooking again. So it will get quieter in the next
Yes.
month or so as we head towards a federal election.
Yep.
And I know that, but I know it because experience tells me that. So be prepared, but make sure you've got a good general account and keep enough money in your operations account. If you've got enough money to generally see you through the next 6 months without having to worry about a sale,
Yes.
you're shored up.
Yep.
You're ready to flow. And that is a really good position to be. And I know that sounds a lot, and it takes you time when you start a business to get to that point, but get to that point as quick as you can. You will sleep better at night knowing that your business is funded well.
Yes. Okay.
And anybody starting a business, make sure it is well funded.
Okay. Good tip. So, of course, there was a lot more travel agents to what there are
Yeah.
now. But what makes you different to everybody else? So why should people choose you?
All right. So just taking COVID as an example, 40% of agencies closed.
Yes.
70% of travel staff left the industry. But we've come out and it's quite a robust industry. It's very, very busy at the moment. Not surprising because everybody's decided travel is now an essential item. It's no longer a luxury, and because everybody's traveling.
I agree with that. I'm a traveller myself, so
Yeah.
yes.
But the reality is, like anything, you've got to find what are your USPs. We're very passionate about what we do. We believe that we have the knowledge and the experience, but basically most travel agents can claim the same. I think what sets us apart is we're exceptionally good at puzzles. And what I mean by that is tailor making the arrangement to suit the individual traveller. As an independent agent, we're not beholden to policies or preferred sales policies of a bigger company. We don't sell you what suppliers necessarily want us to sell. We put things together. We create the trip to suit what you actually want. We're not beholden to any policies. So it means I've got access to every product out there in the globe. And if you say, I want to hire a castle for 3 days in Scotland for a wedding reception,
Yes.
and afterwards I want to go on holiday and I want to go and walk the coast to coast from St. Bees over to Robin Hood Bay in the UK, and then I want to travel to Italy and I happen to want to do, I don't know, the walk along the Cinque Terre, and
Yeah.
then I want to go and do the Camino because I'm completely fit and mad. All right, that's fine. We can put that together. We can actually create that and make that all happen in the order that you want things to happen. It doesn't matter whatever you want to do, we will make it happen. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be cheap, but we can make anything happen that you want to happen. There's nothing I can't make happen.
So what is one of your what's some of the stories that you can tell us about your success stories as far as travel is concerned? Or perhaps your own travel experiences. Where are some of your favorite places?
So from a success, I'll start with that. From a success point of view, we're really good at, as I said, tailor-made itineraries. And I get some very, very complex itineraries that are asked of us. And the challenge is to try and find a solution that finding the right product that suits what the customer wants, but within the budget that they've got to play with.
Yes.
And that's what we are good at. So I've got a customer who decided they'd never been to Canada. They want to do the East. They want to do the West. So we're starting them in the Rocky Mountaineer. They're doing a cruise in the Inside Passage. They're going to Denali National Park afterwards in Alaska. We then fly them to Chicago for a couple of nights, to Toronto to go and do Niagara Falls, and then they're going up to Montreal, and they'll pick up a cruise to do the Lawrence River, down through the Maritimes into New York. They're doing Washington, Boston, New York, and then they're into Europe. So this is a massive, massive holiday.
Yes.
It's for 2 people.
Once in a lifetime, you would
It's
say.
a once-in-a-lifetime trip. It's huge, and they decided to do it as a business class product as well. So they're spending upwards of like 140,000
Yes.
for this once-in-a-lifetime holiday. So we deal with that. And then I've got another customer who did something not exactly the same, but around the world holiday that was quite sophisticated and complex. And we managed to put something together on a much more shoestring budget. And actually, they did something for around, I think it was about 68,000.
Yeah.
But it was really complex. And remember, they were away 4 months.
Yeah.
So it was a really big trip. So we're very good at that sort of stuff. And then, of course, we're very good. We actually have a specialist operation. It's not something you want to book on.
Yeah.
I really promise you don't want to book this, but it's something that we do. We're one of only about 4 travel agents in this country that do this. We do medical evacuations.
Oh, okay.
So we work with insurers, we work with the shipping industry, we work with hospitals, private enterprises. When there's a case that we've got to medically evacuate somebody from Australia back to their home country, or an Australian that's maybe had a stroke in Britain and we've got to get them home, or
Yeah.
anywhere in the world. So we put stretchers on commercial aircraft. We do all sorts. We provide the medical teams, the
Yes.
whole kit and caboodle.
I wondered what you were going to say there, because I was thinking, who wouldn't want to book travel? But yes, you're
Yeah.
right. You wouldn't want to be booking that.
Nobody wants to be booked that, but unfortunately, and this leads to another topic, which is travel insurance. This is why you want it.
Yes.
So, for instance, I've got a case at the moment. We've got a customer who's in Hyderabad, or it's not our customer. It's a Australian that's in Hyderabad. they've had
Which is in India.
a stroke. Yep, in India, they've had a stroke. They're flat on their back. They can't possibly sit up at all. So we've got to bring them home on a stretcher. Now, we could bring them home if they were in a more serious condition and we had to use an air ambulance. The cost would be $352,000 to do the repatriation.
Wow.
On a private jet, right, with all the gear for an ICU on board. If we can get them onto a charter aircraft because they're able to breathe on their own. Now, this person's actually got a tracheotomy, but they are able to breathe. They are able to be okay. We've got them on a commercial jet. So we've put the stretcher on the jet with the medics. We've flown the medics over and all the rest. And the evac is $92,000.
Wow,
there's a considerable difference between the two.
Difference.
Between when you got to be on a private air ambulance or you can use commercial aircraft to make it happen. And that's one of the specialities that we've got as a business. And I reckon we're good at that. We can pretty well do anything.
Yes. That sounds like
But it's, as I said,
a
travel
unique talent
insurance.
too.
Travel insurance, make sure you pay the premium and you do it because you just don't know
what's going to happen.
If we did, we'd all be backing the right horse at the Melbourne Cup every year.
Yes, or winning Tatslotto.
Trying to.
Yes. So where's your favourite place?
First and foremost, and I know this sounds crazy, I actually love Britain. I am a POM. I love my home country. I love Britain. It's full of history. There's so much to see there. And people go to the UK and they'll never, ever be able to do it all. I've travelled the length and breadth of Britain and Ireland extensively, so I can help you put that together. And actually, we've got a specialist product, British Travel Connections, which is why we love, the reason we do it is because we love it. But if I was choosing any other country in Europe, it would be France. And if I was choosing a country out of Europe, I'd say my favourite haunt is Japan.
Oh, really?
Absolutely love Japan. The people are friendly. The place is gorgeous. It's stunning. The scenery's great. Even some of the suburbs within Tokyo or in Osaka, you get into the Namba district in Osaka. It's funky and it's happening. It's Fitzroy in Osaka. It's just great, and I just love it, and I love the food as well. Japan wins.
Oh, very good. And it's very on trend at the moment. A lot of people are going to Japan, aren't they?
It's most probably, I would say, the most on-trend destination at the moment. Everybody's heading there.
Yes.
Because everybody goes, they love it, they come back, they talk about it to friends and family.
So you have to go.
You have to go. And that's another reason why I do what I do as well, and I love doing what I do. Talking of that, talking to friends and family, you talk about the topics that people talk about when you get together with groups of friends and family, because first thing people talk about is their friends and their family.
Yes.
The next thing they talk about is travel.
Yes.
It's always number 2 on the agenda. And I'm a travel agent, so I love it. So when customers ring me, they want to engage with me. I'm in the great job. So.
Well, you can clearly see that you're passionate about it. So, yes, I can understand why you've been doing it for so long. So, Andy, you've been a BNI member for a while as well. How long have you been with BNI?
10 years.
Yes. And you've just joined a new group here in Moonee Ponds.
Yeah, the reason for the change, it's closer to home. It's very simple. It's geography. It's closer to home for me, and I get a lot of my business out the Moonee Valley.
Yes.
So I've got a lot of customer base here. So it made absolute sense when we were opening a new chapter in the Moonee Valley area, and I thought, right, well, I'm jumping in. So it was a good move and thoroughly enjoying it. But BNI overall as an organisation has been a terrific part of my marketing mix.
Yes.
Without a doubt. The best way you can ever, and this is another business tip really.
Yes.
But the best thing you can ever do is look after your customers and get repeat customers.
Yes.
Because repeat customers are the cheapest customers you will be able to get.
Most definitely.
Once you've paid the activity to get that customer in the funnel, through the funnel and converted them, and you're looking after them from a business perspective, if they keep coming back, it's free.
Yes.
It's not cost you any acquisition fee. The next best is referral.
Yes.
And the referral is your existing customers telling their friends and family about you as a business and driving more business your way.
Yes.
So the referral is critical, and that goes hand in hand with reviews from these people to get reviews, good reviews, but also the referral. Now, B&I is a referral network. It's an organisation about givers gain. It's an organisation, of course, as you and I both know,
Yes.
about putting in and helping each other in business. And it's a referral generation tool, professional. And it works. The system works. About 25% of my business comes through as a direct result of B&I.
Yeah. I was going to ask you how much of your business comes through
It's
BNI.
25%.
So that's quite significant.
It is.
Yes.
It's about $1 million worth of revenue a year.
Yep. That's amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Mm.
So what other tips would you have, just in general, tips for business owners and entrepreneurs? If there's somebody who's thinking about going into business, or entrepreneurs listening to the podcast, what tip would you give them from your point of view?
I think the first thing I'd say is have a plan.
Yes.
Get your purpose right. Get your vision right. Know what you want to do.
Yeah.
Then stay focused. Stay positive. Embrace change.
Well, obviously,
It doesn't matter what happens around you, or if you want to stand still in a paddock and say nothing's going to happen, everything will change around you. You can't avoid change. Change in your business, change in your industry, change in the country, change in attitudes. Change is going to happen. So embrace it.
Yep.
Work out how you can work with it and make it work for you. So embrace. That's what I mean by embrace change. And more importantly, and most importantly, enjoy what you do.
Yes.
You're doing it for a big chunk of your life. So don't do something you don't enjoy. I see too many business owners that are sort of down and out, and they've had it. They hate what they do. And I think, well, get out.
Yes.
Do something you enjoy, and definitely enjoy it. And that will come across in the passion with your customers, and it will drive more business.
Yep. Okay. So is there any industry trends at the moment within travel?
Well, one of the things that we did allude to is the fact that Japan is most probably a hot destination that's close to Australia.
Yes.
Bali and Fiji continue to be popular, but Japan is the on-point destination without a doubt. Vietnam is another popular destination, continues to be, always has been, and it certainly is. And then the other big trends are people will continue to travel to places like Europe, Canada. They're always popular. And there's more and more growth into South America because, of course, LATAM have got 4 times a week. They fly out of Melbourne now direct to Santiago. And then you've got almost a double daily out of Sydney. And then Qantas are flying out of Sydney about 4 times a week. So there's plenty of flights across the South Pacific. And essentially that leads to the fact that the volume wants to go into South America, which is great.
So is there a business book or a podcast that has inspired you that you would recommend to anyone, any of the people listening?
Oh, good God. There's too many. Quite honestly, I'm just trying
Or
to...
what's the last one that had an impact?
I'm trying to think of the author. I can't remember his name. I think it was called The Insider.
And what was that about?
And it was basically about getting into your business and actually understanding the intricacies of it and making it better, finding out where there's gaps.
Yes.
And how you can improve those gaps. But there's so many books I've read over the years. I haven't really sat down and read anything seriously in the last year, most probably, because quite frankly, the business has been so fraught.
Yeah.
I've been working extended hours. We've just taken on new staff.
Yes.
Because the business has been manic, and because of the lack of staff in our industry, everybody's been working stupid hours. And I'm talking industry-wide at the moment, not just me.
Well, I'm so excited that that's happening because you guys had such a hard time a few years ago.
Yeah, but it's bounced back really strongly. And there's no doubt about it. People are travelling and they want to travel, and the capacity, the global airline seat availability and capacity is back to where it was pre-COVID. In fact, it's exceeding those levels now.
Yep.
So that's a really good sign, and people are travelling. They are definitely travelling, and there's more so than the pre-COVID. The demand is exceptionally high, despite what's going on in the economy.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I haven't really sat down, but one of the biggest things that's helped me has been BNI. I'm just going to come back to that because the education that BNI offers through the Business Builder program, which is like a BNI online university, there's so many podcasts you can listen to as a business owner
Yes.
that help to inspire. You realize they're talking about things to help BNI, but actually it's helping business.
Yes. Yep.
And if you listen to it, you go, oh, there's a little nugget.
Yes.
There's another little nugget. And I sit in the car, and instead of actually listening to the radio all the time, if I've got a half-hour journey, I'll chuck on a podcast and listen to that instead. And it's amazing what you pick up.
Yeah, that's great. So, Ed, if people wanted to get in contact with you, how would they do that?
Send a pigeon.
Send a pigeon.
No, so you can give us a call. With obviously phone and email and everything else. Contact at travelconnections.com.au for the record. But yeah, the website will be back up and running, I'm hoping by the end of March. So that we'll have obviously travelconnections.com.au.
Yes.
And most probably that's the better source. Go there, hit the link for the email or whatever medium you want to contact us on and do it that way.
Yep.
But we'll be back up and running at the end. We're just rebuilding the site at the moment.
Okay. Well, I'd just like to say congratulations because you're one of our high performers here in the Melbourne North region. So just like to acknowledge that you're actually using the system really well for your own business, and just thank you for being here today. So thanks for coming along.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.